To wrap up our discussion of vowel inventories, I wanted us to look a little bit at the difference between the what we might call general American English vowel inventory and the one from standard Southern British English. It's discussed in McMahon's chapter, chapter 7. And to compare these varieties, as well as other varieties that we're going to be discussing, we make use of something called a lexical set. This was introduced by a phonetician named John Wells, and it's illustrated here for British English and American English. As you can see on the right-hand side, we have what are called keywords. And those, with each keyword, we have the corresponding pronunciation in each of these varieties. The reason we're using keywords instead of the IPA is because that allows us to compare across varieties in this way. So as you can see, there are a couple of differences between American English and British English in the low vowels right away here. So in trap, we have the front A, and in British English, they have the mid A, trap. In American English, we have the A vowel for lot. In British English, they have this symbol. It's the vowel O. So it's an A with lip rounding. And just like you might have done with me in discussion class, where we made a high front rounded vowel, E to U, you could do the same thing with a low vowel, A to O, lot. Then we have a few other differences as you go through here. One that I'll pay particular attention to is the mid vowel. So here we have goat. Now, the transcription that McMahon uses is really not standard and doesn't do a good job of characterizing the difference between the two varieties. So the usual transcription is to transcribe American English as the diphthong that you see here, O, which you're probably familiar with. And then British English is transcribed instead with the schwa as the beginning of the diphthong. And so the idea here is that this is a more front O, so O, 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 O. We'll be working with these lexical sets. Another thing I want to draw your attention to is that I've given you a link to a page that provides words that give you, so it provides words for example, for kit. Here are a bunch of words that have the same I vowel in both of the varieties we're looking at. Same with dress and trap and so on. And so this will be very useful when you're looking for examples of pronunciations of words in different varieties. I've also given you links on this page to the YouTube video on received pronunciation in the King's Speech that we discussed, or actually, sorry, that I sent you in an email, and a nice history of received pronunciation from David Crystal, which I really encourage you to take a look at both of these. Finally, we'll be doing an exercise where you're looking for examples of the different vowels across these varieties. And I've given you examples here of some of the vowels, examples that students in past instances of 370 found.